Hello, hello. In today's episode, we will be going over all of my amazing purchases at this weekend's Comic-Con. Let's hop right in. The first thing I bought was this hilarious, day of the month calendar, the kind where you rip off for each day, and it's called Effin Birds by the ever-talented Reynolds. And the premise is pretty simple. He draws a bird, and the bird says something hilarious. I have this in my office for this year, so of course I needed one for next year. And they say things like, "Hold my calls, some jackass is here to explain my own shit to me." I guess I should have prefaced this with, there is definitely swearing, and it's hilarious. Let's just open it up. Maybe I do it this way. That's better. So it does, of course, come with the stand. Now, I can't flip ahead because the artist, Reynolds, wrote something apparently hilarious and so rude on my birthday. And I need to attempt not to look at it until my birthday. Will I have the willpower? Only time will tell. So there we go. My Effin Birds 2024 calendar. Next up, we have this amazing crocheted Navi. It's such a large crochet ball, and it did cost a pretty penny, but I do know how to crochet. I taught myself a few years ago, so while it was expensive, I also know that this probably took many hours to actually crochet and fill and connect, and it was definitely done to a skill level that I don't have, so I was very happy to pay the amount. I don't want to say how much it was, because it was a lot, but look how cute. She's blue, and I don't know if you can tell, but she sparkles a little bit. The yarn that they chose has, well, little sparkles in it, and it's fantastic. this will also be in my office, and it'll sit in my background, so when I'm on boring Teams calls, I can just stare at my own background and enjoy the view. It was especially appropriate because the day that I bought this, I was wearing one of my Zelda costumes. Literally Princess Zelda from Skyward Sword. Although, okay. Technically, she was not a princess in that game. She was merely the headmaster's daughter turned reincarnation of Goddess Hylia. But how can you be wearing a Zelda costume and then walk past this beautiful Navi? Next up, I had to get new dice. So I am playing D&D every second Friday, and I was using previous dice for my character, but they weren't rolling very well, and I think it's because I did not choose thematically appropriate dice for my character. That's clearly the reason, and odds, probability, statistics have nothing to do with it. It's all about the superstitions. So because I am playing a half-elf druid who's a librarian whisked away on an adventure, I've decided to go with this beautiful set of dice, which hopefully the camera can capture the color, but they are green and purple all mixed together, and the font on the dice is vaguely elfish, fairy tale-ish. So okay, let's see what happens when we roll. Let's see what happens when we roll. Okay, that's 2 6s in a row. Let's try it again. Let's see what happens when we roll. A 4. I think it's because I'm rolling with my left hand. Let's try my right hand. I swear, yesterday when I rolled it, it was a 19. 2. That's okay, we're getting all the low rolls out here when it doesn't matter. When I'm playing D&D this Friday, I will get all 18s, 19s, and 20s. And it came in this really adorable test tube-like thing from the Wizard's Vault. There we go. We finally rolled a 19. Oh, but we did get a couple of nat 1s on some of the other dice. A 4, an 8, a 3. You know, overall, pretty wide range of numbers there. So I'm very excited for D&D this Friday, so I can bust out my new dice. Now the question is, do I use or make a new dice bag for this set? Or do I just keep them in this adorable test tube? I think for now I'll keep the test tube. Next up, I had to get into the scrunchie game. So now I have two very colorful scrunchies. I guess we'll continue with the D&D theme. And this one has all the dice. Just very colorful dice. Just adorable. See, now the mic is beautiful. The second one is Pokemon themed. Now, I haven't been collecting cards or anything, or even playing the games since I was a kid, but I absolutely adore Eevee. Love, love, love her with all of her evolutions, which are all on here, or at least many of them are. Plus, I just like the colors. The dark, the purples, and then the brightly colored Eevees. Just adorable. And next up, we have this absolutely beautiful sign made by Daley Kreations, which says, the first one, Casterly Rock. So yes, this is a Game of Thrones signpost. Casterly Rock is the first one. And then we have Winterfell. And then King's Landing. I saw this sign on the Friday, the first day of the con. I didn't buy it right then, but then on the Saturday I went back and the sign wasn't there, and I was so sad that I didn't have it. But I was hoping, you know, someone may have bought the one on the wall, maybe they have some extras, and they just didn't have a chance to put a new one up because they get very busy, of course, on con days, especially Saturday. So then on Sunday, that was one of the first stops I made to their booth, and then I, you just ask, do you still have the Game of Thrones signpost? And sure enough, they did. No one had even bought it, they just moved it over to a different wall and I didn't notice. So it was meant to be. Now I need to find an awesome place to hang this, which I think it'll go just right in my entranceway. The weathering detail they put on this is just beautiful. The font is perfect. Like, just look at that. Absolute perfection. Okay, then on Sunday as well, I bought my one and only autograph of this year's con. And I've decided to start a new tradition. If you have not watched my Star Trek 5-year mission episode, I will link it in the card, wherever that goes, if I remember. But I was wearing my scant that I made in the video. So on the Sunday, I wore the scant, and I got Gates McFadden's signature on her player card. Now I am almost annoyed with myself because we had many of the cast of The Next Generation come to our cons over the years, but I didn't think to get their signature on their player cards. So I just have to hope that one day they return so that I can continue this new tradition. How cool is that? And it's something that, if I put it on an autograph or a picture and then framed it and put it up on a wall, I might not really see it. Like, depending on where it was in the house, you might just walk past it. But we play this game a lot, as is evidenced by the loving condition that the box is in. So just every time we play it, I'm gonna get to see it and remember our interaction. And Gates McFadden was super lovely, so nice. We had a cute conversation about my scant and how large my comm badge is, which was something I didn't really like about the scant, but I never bothered to fix it. But anyway, she was really, really sweet about it. So this was super exciting. And again, I just need all of the rest of the crew to come back. And when and if Will Wheaton ever comes back to our con, I will probably get him to sign my Pandemic board game box. Either Pandemic or Catan, since those are some like good intro games, and one of the first ones he did on his show Tabletop, which got me into board games. I just think that'd be cool. Next up, the art. Not that this wasn't art, but I mean, you know, like paintings. Give me a sec. Okay, this first one is one that I had seen last year, and I didn't buy it, and I regretted it. So here it is from Leah Matte Illustrations. Hopefully I can get the whole painting in the shot. Gotta go on an angle here. But that is Cat Link from Ocarina of Time with Navi, of course. And it is just absolutely adorable. Now, I don't know anything about art, so I can't say how hard this was to make or paint. You know, was it done on the computer, I imagine? No idea, don't care. It is adorable. Now I just need to find a nice frame to put it in. And again, I have to find a spot for it. But somewhere in my craft room here, my little ASMR studio is a quarter of this space in the room. The other 3/4 are my cosplay stuff. So I've got a wall of wigs. I've got all of my kind of tools and stuff on the back wall. All of here is the actual workspace with the tables. And then I've got another one of these. One of the Kallax or whatever IKEA furniture just across there that holds all of my fabric. So of course my little cat link has to be in here somewhere. And there's beautiful cat, like, just come on, his little ears poking out, like not even poking out of, but just poking through the cap. So cute. Now this next one, it's not cat themed, it is just a beautiful vista of Tears of the Kingdom, which again, it's so detailed, so hopefully you can pick some of it up. But at the bottom you can see Link in the corner, Hyrule Castle floating with gloom sprouting out from the chasm. You can even see, I don't know if you can tell, but the light dragon is right here. Probably hard to pick up on screen, but she's there. And then in the sky, you can see a vague outline of the Triforce, which, although it didn't really feature in the game, still just a beautiful, subtle touch of texture to the painting. Yeah, this one, I couldn't pass it up, even though it's not the adorable, you know, Link cat style. I just loved Tears of the Kingdom so much that I knew I had to walk away with some type of art related. And this was the winner. Next up, spray paint art. Now this next artist does these spray paintings directly in front of you. It takes him 3 minutes to do a small painting or 5 minutes to do a large one. I bought one of each. I already own a lot of his art pieces and they're spread throughout the house. But at this point it's kind of like every time I go I need to buy at least one thing from him. The big one that I'll show you in a second is something that I saw him have on display last year, and I had a different idea in mind last year, so I went a different route, but I always had that picture in my mind, so you'll see that in a second. But this one was just from me asking, what do you do, or what can you do that's Game of Thrones themed? And he said he can do on the big canvas, Jon and Dany. But if I wanted a smaller one, it would be sort of an either or. And I do already have Daenerys cat art from last year, but I don't have Jon Snow. So here it is. We've got Jon Snow, we've got Ghost, and we have it in front of the weirwood tree. Check this out. Oh, I can't really get it in frame here, so let's see if I can do... Oh, there we go. Ta-da! Here we go. So, we've got Jon Snow holding Longclaw, Ghost in the background, the beautiful weirwood tree with the red leaves, the white bark, standing all alone with just a beautiful moon in the background. How amazing is this? And again, 3 minutes. Now, of course, you have to let it dry for 30 minutes, so you tell him what you want, you watch him do it, and then you come back an hour or so later to pick it up. Just absolutely incredible. I do need a spot for this. I think I'm gonna put it in my office. Again, add it to my background along with Navi here. There we have it. A beautiful piece of art. Now for the big painting. I think I'm gonna need to rearrange in order to get it even into frame. Here we go. So this is as good as I can get it into frame because it's so large. But that, my friends, is all of these Sailor Scouts, including Luna and Artemis there at the bottom. Like, isn't that just beautiful? I love all of the colors he chose. The pinks are so vibrant. I love the silhouettes. They're just glowing from behind. And very thematically appropriate that there are planets in the background for each of the Sailor Scouts. Just absolutely beautiful. This one will definitely be staying downstairs so I can see it every time I come into my craft room. But again, imagine doing all of this in 5 minutes. He is so talented. Clearly he does this for a living, so this was not the first time he's painted this. But that's fine by me. Everyone is always just a little different, a little unique. And it's gorgeous. Now, I do plan on painting my craft room slash the ASMR studio. So I'm thinking of painting that wall black, because right now I just have a weird fabric that's just a black fabric pinned to the wall to give it that illusion. But if I painted it black and then hung this up right on it, I wonder if that would look nice. Now the final two items were not actual purchases, but I was in the masquerade. I'm somehow magically in the artisan level, which is mind-blowing. And we had a wonderful competition, and yet I somehow came away with, first off, an honorable mention in workmanship called Integration of Game Concept, which was just really, really wonderful to receive. Last year, some of the feedback I received was that I needed to work on my sort of finishes, you know, cleaner edges and lines, and I really took that to heart, and I tried super hard this year to get better. So to get a workmanship honorable mention, it just really goes to show that practice will get you somewhere. So really, really cool. I was also entry 60 of 61, so even though I had the very first judging time slot, I might have literally been the first person to register for the masquerade. You know, we did our judging first thing in the morning, so you go backstage about an hour and a half before the actual masquerade, and then you're given your spot number. So for whatever reason, I was entry 60 of 61, so I got to watch everybody else go on stage ahead of me, and then my partner and I went on. We were the dynamic duo of Sailor Link and Luna V. So Sailor Moon and Link, and then Luna and Navi. And I called our entry, "Hey, listen," of course. And we had a cute little presentation, which earned us an actual presentation award. So they called the award Hit Z Target, because my Lunavi was Z targeting, except I'm Canadian, so it's Z targeting. So she was Z targeting the ninjas for me, and I was tracking her, and I guess they really appreciated that touch. And we had a blast on stage. So yeah, we got an award. The sort of rule of thumb is you get 3 awards in one category and you can bump up, or if you win a best in class, you move up automatically. That's what happened to me last year. I won best in class for presentation, which bumped me up to artisan. Hence why I had to work so hard on workmanship to even attempt to be worthy of being in the artisan category. So I worked hard. It paid off. I got an honorable mention. But the presentation is truly, I think, where I shine. And I have an amazing partner who just is willing to do whatever I tell her. It's wonderful. And we got it. We got our artisan award. So yes, in theory, if I get 2 more, I could become a master. Not necessarily my goal, although that would be really wicked. But until then, I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to try to get better every year at my workmanship. And we're just going to keep having fun on stage for the presentations. So yeah, that was my Comic-Con haul. I feel like I'm missing something that I bought. Oh my god, I am. Silly me. I will be right back for the real last thing. The last thing I got was a photo op with one of the celebrity guests, which was Christopher Eccleston of Doctor Who. So I only started watching Doctor Who in the, new era. So he was my very first Doctor. And if you're able to see, that is me in the cosplay that we did I won the honorable mention and the presentation award. This is Sailor Link. I don't know how, whether the lights are making it easy to see because it is in a sleeve. But maybe in my special effects post-edit world, I can just put the digital copy there so you can see it for reals. He was super nice and complimented my cosplay, which was always nice to hear. And yeah, he wasn't sort of afraid of, she was shaking everyone's hand, so he shook my hand and then he just held me tight, which I loved. So yeah, there it is. Was this the most expensive thing? Yes, this was the most expensive thing I purchased, but the combination of both paintings was technically more expensive by like $7. But yeah, that is the last thing for today's episode. Something a little bit different. I've also decided to switch to monthly videos as opposed to trying to do weekly or every 2 weeks. It was just getting to be a lot, considering this is just a hobby for me. So yeah, next month we will be doing a proper board game ASMR, and since it'll be October, that means Halloween themed. So if there's a game behind me that I haven't played yet that you think would be perfect for Halloween, let me know in the comments. Hopefully you're fast asleep by now, but if you're not, consider hitting that like button. Throw a comment down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and sweet dreams.